Hello, everybody. I'm Vipassana, and these are my teammates.
Hello, Damro.
Hi, I'm Juhi.
Hey, it's David Shamus.
Today, we are going to present our final demo for EE542 project. We were doing the baseball predictor. So let's start with our demo video.
You're gonna make me rich? You see this book? This book tells the future. It tells the results of every major sports event till the end of the century. Football, baseball, horse races, boxing. The information in here is worth millions, and I'm giving it to you.
Here at Ball and Cash, we don't need a bug to cash when we have a robust AI system to do that for us. We can accurately predict baseball game outcomes. And based on those outcomes, we can plan trips to see the winning team.
Or sell merchandise in advance to cash in even more on the winning teams. Or join in the fun and watch the game with the team's community. Here at Ball & Cash, we like to mix a green with fun, so try our predictor now.
So let's get into the details of the predictor. One of the uses of the predictor could be for sports betting. If you see current markets of sports betting, it's currently valued at 17.9 billion. Oh, that was 2024 stats. It has a potential to grow at 10.9 compound for the next few years. So if you look at the accuracy of these standard prediction model, you see that they have somewhere around 50% accuracy. Ours is at 58%. And we'll get into the reason why it's that much detail. But here's a clip of an interview we did with a Dodger advertiser, and he states the use of a predictor.
If we lose games, we are not going to make it to the next round. So of course, it's going to change our plans.
Okay.
But
So he's talking about how the predictor could be used in playoffs. If the predictor predicted that the game was to win in the playoffs, it could be beneficial for them to advertise. And here's the details on how it runs.
So initially, the standard model works better because it is not doing clustering. But later on, our model works better because we are using logistic regression. And for logistic regression, clustering works wonders. So how is it better? Like I said, we use clusters. Instead of bombarding our model with data which has no use or is very varied, we use clusters of data points. It means that instead of giving them a chunk of data, we give them specific points which will actually affect its outcome. We also removed a few data points when we realized, oh, they do not affect our outcome. Also, we realized our data is not connected to each other in a straight line. It means our linear regression model won't give us any good output. So we went with logistic regression. Logistic regression is great because our points sort of connect with each other in an S curve. Also, logistic regression predicts our Y values between 0 and 1, which is exactly what we wanted since 0 can be symbolic for not winning and 1 can be symbolic for winning. Another thing that makes us stand out compared to our competitors is our GPU acceleration. We have used PyTorch with GPU acceleration to boost the speed. Like I said, how is our system better? We have used GPU acceleration. Our competitors, such as Fangraphs, MLB Game Predictor, and Zealous Analytics, they are still currently using CPUs. With the advent of, or with the popularization of GPUs, we felt the need to use GPU to make sure that our system is up to date with the current market. Another thing that makes us unique is that we have our entire website on a cloud. Now, we have realized that servers are very expensive and they're hard to maintain because you need the appropriate manpower for it. But since it's a website which is used for prediction, we can just put it on cloud and save expenses. Even though our database is extensive and it is pulled from multiple sources, the model only takes the gist, as in the cluster of it, to train.
So as mentioned, servers are very costly to maintain. So we have an example here. So to start up a ML design on a server, it takes 200,000 for a design similar to ours, and it's 150,000 per year to maintain a system. If you look at the bottom left, we have a example of like, let's say we have a system that takes care of 10,000 users. You could look at the expense of just servers. It's very expensive. Look at the cloud, for example, and it's all same price constantly. It's because cloud is easier to maintain. As mentioned, we have ours running on cloud, so it's easier to maintain and yeah, it's easier to use and give to users to use as well.
So let's jump into our demo. Let me first show you. Like we said, we promised that our entire system is on cloud. So I want to show and justify that yes, it's on cloud. So we have got an instance running and the external IP is 35.221.22.135. So I'm just going to copy that and I'm going to create a new tab. I'm going to put it and we have got a port running at 5000 and there we go. We have got the probability. This is our website. Now, one thing we realized it's very small, and that's the way we planned it. We took inspiration from Google, and we were like, let's keep it as minimal as we can. Now, this is easier for people who are newcomers. This website is specifically targeted to them as well. So we have got. Let's just choose a team LAA, and let's choose another team NYA and you get the probability. So the probability of LAA winning is 47.37% against NYA. Now, we have used these member statistics to determine the probability. And for NYA, these are the other team members. The stats that we base them are on batting, pitching, and fielding. We gave more weightage to batting because we realized our outcome is heavily influenced by batting. The first pitch is also very important, so it also has quite a bit of weightage. That's the way we gave weights and we were able to get the probability. Now we are going to go ahead and Alrik is going to explain.
We made a Android app, so let's get that on here. We have this Android emulator popped, ready to go. So if I were to click that and give it a moment to show what's going on. We realized that the Android Studio has a bad emulator. But the reason why we're using this emulator. So I got two teams, random teams, runs perfectly fine. As mentioned in the other section. Same outcomes, players and all that's good stuff. Let's pick another random two. Works fine. Yeah, it works like the homepage. No big difference. Just this one's for Android friendly users. Now, switch back to the.
Okay, so let's me start with our.
So we have a set of future improvements we want to slightly mention. Based on the interviews that we had, one possible future improvement would be the psychology of players, meaning that going in their backgrounds, seeing how they treat family. We're saying this because we talked to a minor league coach and he emphasized psychology a lot. That we sort of thought it would be a significant improvement how the player is to be predicted how it plays. So like was saying, treatment of family, financial background, if they came up poor, rich, middle class, has a significant how they play. Relationships they have at the time of the game date, marriages and stuff like that happens. Nutrition is a big emphasis as well. The way the player eats, it makes it affects the performance of the player. And here's a video of the minor league coach.
When I'm recruiting guys for professional baseball, I'm looking at their personalities. I'm looking at their home life. I'm looking at, all these other things like, okay, their stats are good, but, once you get to the professional level, no one really cares about what you did. They want to see what you're doing now and how you're gonna do with, that 5 to 10,000 fans, booing you, or 20,000 fans, or, how are you going to be on a daily life? Are you neat? Are you squared away? Are you a respectful person? I mean, these are all things that I think people overlook that I think especially with stats, like we can dive deeper in that, like when did they graduate high school? What is, these are all things that I think are kind of getting overlooked. But yeah.
And here's a bit of a outlook on the future financial performance of this project. As you can see on the graph on the top right, this is a breakdown of the sports analytics market from last year. You can see the lion's share of that is sports betting, which has a pretty big market for predicting the outcomes of games and how players perform. But also a pretty big segment of it is the sport leagues themselves, and then the sports teams to do prediction based on our models, and then also media organizations to try and make sports more digestible for the average person with statistics. And so a bit of the future performance is that the sports analytic market last year was 4.5 billion, projected to grow up to 14.5 billion by 2030, so almost tripling by that time. And then in terms of state revenue from gambling, you have New York with 6.7 billion and then Illinois with 4.4 billion.
Okay, so talking about the future opportunities, right now only a portion of the US market is legalized for predictive sports analytics and betting. But states like California and Texas, which together represent over 60 million people, and some of the biggest sports cultures are still largely untapped. If even one of these states opens up regulatory approval, the total addressable market jumps by billions of dollars overnight. For a baseball focused prediction engine like ours, that means more users, more transactions, more data, the ability to train models on region specific behavior, partnerships with local sports networks, teams, or fantasy platforms. So these states aren't just new audiences, they are full force multipliers for revenue and model accuracy.
Thank you for listening to our demo.